Recording.
Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy days. We're going to make this quick. We're going to have half an hour webinar to give you the highlights and important details on how lead retrieval can help boost your exhibit hall sales with your by providing value to your exhibitors. My name is Diane Hurley. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at eShow, and I'm super excited to be here. We're going to give a few minutes for some folks to still come in. So I'm just going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. I'm located here in Delaware. Yes, Delaware. A lot of people haven't been to our tiny little state, and it is pouring buckets here. So I'd love to know where you're from. We'd love to know who's joining us and what part of the world you're from. So please drop a note in the chat, and we'll get started in a few minutes.
Well, I am happy to report it's no longer raining here in Chicago. It was all this morning, and all of a sudden the sun came out. So we got lucky. I've got good light now.
Great. Well, no one's outing. Everyone's quiet today. Oh, Illinois. Okay, rainy there too. Thank you, Rose, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yes, our company is based in Illinois. So we have this is Lawrence, who's with me, and I'll introduce him officially in just a minute. But he's also in the Chicago area as well. So. Great. Okay. Anyone else want to share where they are? And should we be jealous of your weather if you're sunny and warm where you are? Awesome. Well, I guess we can get started. Since this is a quick webinar, we only have a half an hour. So again, for those of you who have just come in the last couple of minutes, I'm Diane Hurley. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at eShow. Tina, I just saw Tina noted that it's sunny and warm in St. Augustine. Well, thank you. We are living vicariously through you right now as I'm bundled up at the end of May up here in the Mid-Atlantic. Anyway, thanks again for being with us. I am going to introduce you to our keynote speaker, who is Lawrence Gibbons. He's our Director of On-Site Solutions here at eShow, and he is a longtime eShow employee. He's been here for over 10 years. So we're really excited to have him and his expertise as a part of our team and to be presenting this webinar to you today. Lawrence has extensive experience with our lead retrieval products, and he is here to share with you what eShow has to offer. Over to you, Lawrence. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry before I go.
Yes.
We are taking Q&A at the end, so please feel free throughout this webinar to just put your Q&A in the chat or in the Q&A, and at the end I'll come back on and with Lawrence to help answer all of your questions. Enjoy the webinar.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody that's attending. Like I said, once again, if you have questions, please hold them to the end, but please feel free to go ahead and put them in the Q&A. That's when we'll actually address them. So you actually don't have to hold them. Just drop them in the Q&A tab and we'll get to them later on in the actual event. So let me tell you a little bit about eShow. What is eShow? eShow is an event software solutions platform, basically. What we do is we provide numerous products that help you manage your event. Whether it's registration, conference, your exhibits, your floor plan, speakers, abstracts, everything. We offer it all under one umbrella. Our goal is to make it easy for you, to help you regain time back, to make things much more seamless. We want to give you an increased return on investment as well, too. We want you to be able to take your team and work more efficiently within our system, therefore making your shows more efficient as well, too. And because we offer multiple different products, we're able to give you valuable data insights because all of our information talks with each other. So your registration platform is directly tied to your conference, and your conference is directly tied to your exhibitors and such forth. By having you within our system, our ecosystem, we're able to translate all of that data for you and give you valuable insights about your shows. So for people who are here, who don't know, what is lead capture? What is lead retrieval? Another word that, is kind of historically used, but now we're moving more to lead capture. And I'll explain to that a little bit of reasons why now it's being called lead capture. But basically, it's a smarter way to collect and follow up on your leads, right? But what is a lead? A lead is literally anyone you interact with that you're basically trying to sell a product to or some kind of service, right? What does lead capture do? Lead capture makes it actionable for you to interact with those people that you've talked to. But in eShow, we emphasize a qualified lead, right? Because you could get an email list that lists everybody that came to the show. You could have just a list of people that you scanned a badge with, but we offer much more than that. We want to turn that basic lead into a qualified lead. Why? Because it helps exhibitors build stronger networks and identify real sales opportunities, right? Anybody can volumetrically just put people in place, but what they're looking for is what can we actually convert to a real opportunity? Why is that important to you? Is because the more we can do that in your behalf, the more exhibitors keep coming back year after year, hopefully growing what they're doing and engaging and doing with you as the show host. So what makes a system a good system? Not just eShow, but just in general. Number one, you want it to be user-friendly. You want it to be easy to use, right? Anytime there's a learning curve on something that legitimately you're kind of setting up once they get to the show, right? They're not really spending a lot of time learning the system beforehand. It's got to be from the minute you open up that app or you'll use that device where okay, all I have to do is scan and then kind of work through. We spend hours, days, weeks making sure that the system is intuitive and easy to use. What also is important, you want that information to be secure and you want it to be stable and dependable. So not only do you want to make sure that you're capturing that information, but we want to make sure that information gets specifically to the people that it should be and not to other people. We also want you to have smart connections, right? Back in the day, if anyone remembers, if it must have been long enough, lead retrieval systems used to be these gigantic, like fax machine sized devices. And you had to go through the entire process of the show and then wait maybe a day or two, if you were really lucky, a day after the show to get those leads. That's outdated. You want people to have real-time connections with real-time dashboards that are able to show them information immediately. That's huge. And you also want people to have a modern experience. Like I said, we don't want people to have big clunky devices anymore. Everyone's got iPhones and tablets, all kind of cool new gadgets. You want your system to also match that experience so they don't feel like they're going backwards in time when they're using something. So we've also talked about how do we make things better for an exhibitor, but you as our client, how do we make things better for you? Number one, it requires no input from you whatsoever for us to facilitate lead retrieval on your behalf. We take ownership of this fully. We're not trying to give you a system to use. We're not trying to give you a system to learn to use or to sell. We do this on behalf to sell and to facilitate your exhibitors to make your life easier and their life easier. About the only interaction we need from you is just basically approval on wording, maybe some graphics, content that we want to send out. But other than that, you can sit back and just make sure that your exhibitors are happy. Again, I really want to emphasize easy to use so that your exhibitors have an easy experience. Again, we are working on your behalf to make sure that their experience is good. We want to make sure that the lead retrieval aspect of that is part of that cycle. And we want to make sure, again, that it's secure. Why is that important? Because for you also, you want to make sure that only people who are using the system are the ones who are approved to use the system. We only sell lead retrieval to your people that are verified, validated, and in the system from you. We will not sell to people who are outside of the system, people who are just shadowing and maybe hang around the periphery. It's only people that are approved by you. Therefore, it only works with attendees that are also, again, validated to be within the system. They've got to have an eShow badge. used with an e-show lead retrieval system from an approved vendor or exhibitor from that show. We take care of you. Your exhibitors being happy will make your life easier as well too. Again, once they see the metrics on what they've done at the show, once they see that there's a quality leads coming from the show, they will want to rebook and come back to that show year and year again. As you grow, we should be able to grow with them as well too. And again, you don't have to have any kind of interaction. So their information is available right in front of them from the time they open up and make the purchase. We also give them the information for years after the show. If they need to go back to 2023 and see, hey, what did we do comparatively speaking in 2023 to 2025? Hey, has Bob Smith been coming back to this show year after year? Is he growing in position? All of their data and information is available in our system. We don't shut down any of that. We don't take it out. They have access to their data at all times. So let's talk about what is different about eShow. What does make us stand out from the other lead retrieval systems? And we do have an award-winning system. I will say it's probably one of the best products we have. I'm very proud of it. We built this system proprietarily. Coming out of COVID, we were using a third-party system. And we sat back and we started evaluating some of the other ones that were in there. I was like, guys, we know we can do this better because we own registration. We own exhibits. People who are working together, we know how to build technology. Let's build a better system. And we did. So one of the first things we did, we wanted it to be self-managed. All the other systems at the time were basically, you had to have all kind of interventions in order to be able to get what you could do. So whether you scanned a lead, you still had to wait till after the show for someone else to deliver your leads to you. You couldn't even send them to yourself from a device. You had to wait for that cycle to complete after the show. Once it was done, and then you emailed your leads. We didn't want that anymore. We wanted people to be able to manage themselves and have real-time capabilities. Another thing I noticed was, like you said, there was some dated tech out there. Tech reinvents itself almost yearly. Being a tech company, we want to grow with that. So not only do we want to have mobile app options, we wanted to have rugged but streamlined scanning devices, whether it's a handheld scanner, whether people wanted more real estate to be able to work off of a tablet, or there was a freestanding kiosk solution that had real estate for branding and marketing and all kind of interactive activities. We are always on the cusp of pushing new technology and giving people greater options to be able to use to build qualified leads. Again, we're going to double down. We have encrypted secure systems. It is not safe to work with a lead retrieval service that requires you to unencrypt a QR code. Unencrypted QR codes leaves you liable to all kinds of different things if that information data gets breached and it's out there. We don't operate that way. 256-bit encryption, military grade. We make sure that people who are only supposed to be connecting with each other are connecting with each other. A huge point. We provide dedicated on-site support for your show. Yes, we have a team back at home that works virtually, but they're working on the back ends. But once your show is live, we have a body there sitting in front of you, handling your exhibitors one-on-one on your behalf. We emphasize not only technical skill, but customer service skills. We make it a pleasure for people to have a lead retrieval. Our team is there to help sell, to troubleshoot, to help people go through options, to give them advice, suggestions. We're there. Many other systems out there will give you dedicated support, or they'll give you packages on how to support. It doesn't work. You don't have time to do that. You should be focused on your event and your exhibit floor being successful. We'll handle the rest. And again, we want to shorten that lead cycle time. We want to make sure that not only are those leads captured in quality, but they can action on them as soon as possible. And we do that. So what are some of the industry trends? We've talked about a lot of the things that we currently are doing, but again, with eShow, we're always pushing the envelope. We are looking for what's the next step. Let's perfect what we have now, but let's also keep an eye to the future and what's coming up in our field. So again, flexible capture options. We are always looking for what's the next thing. The next thing for us, interactive capability, We want to make sure that not only can you manually do it, but we want to give you options where people can set up kiosks and, like you said, be able to not only extend within the exhibit booth space, but we want to give exhibitors chances to have opportunities outside of the exhibit booth space as well, too. And for you as the vendor to be able to offer those opportunities as well. RFID. Everybody's heard this term. Coming in a very short cycle, we are going to be able to we're going to be pushing our RFID solution live. Why is that important? Because now you're talking about enhanced metrics that you can provide to your exhibitors and for you as the client as well. If you have exhibitors that are purchasing RFID packages, they are now getting metrics along the lines of how many people walked by my booth, who came into my booth, how many decision makers stayed in my booth, how long did they stay, what was the traffic patterns at certain times. These types of metrics really now show the value of the booth. And it really allows you, as well as we purport some of this information to you, to start scaling how you're actually doing your exhibit hall floor. There might be an area that you have devalued because you think it's off in a different area where there's not going to be a lot of traffic. We'll be able to provide you information that says, oh no, this back corner over here actually had 25% higher traffic than another area that you're valuing higher. For your next year, you'll be able to upscale and be able to prove this is why we're putting this dollar value on this booth space. Real-time intelligence. Again, we're always looking for ways to get people engaged with their leads faster. Again, very short cycle, we're going to be doing integrations with their sales platforms. So if they're using something like Salesforce, we'll not only be able to take their leads, their quality leads that we're giving them, we'll actually prefer integrations into their Salesforce platforms as well, too. Again, now they can automate their cycles as well and taking away that interaction time that has to happen. Post-show engagement, huge. For the people that don't have those types of sales platforms, we'll be offering tools within the system itself for them to be able to do that, whether it's e-blast, email blast, follow-up marketing, giving them a portal where they can actually have a miniature digital video booth or interactive booth where people can engage with. We're looking for ways to keep people in your show and in their show cycle and engage with them as the exhibitor. Again, we're always going to keep building on privacy and privacy and compliance and security, making sure that data stays where it's supposed to be and it's only interacting between the parties that it's supposed to interact with. And we're always going to have a huge priority over quality of scans. Quantity is always great, but I have plenty of shows where I've walked on the floor and engaged with exhibitors and kind of say, how's your show going? And I've had people look at me before and say, yeah, I got six leads. I kind of look at them, kind of like, but they're smiling. And they're grinning from ear to ear. I'm like, why is this guy so excited about 6 leads? And he was like, no, these 6 people are going to purchase. This is 6 out of 6. He's like, I'll take 6 out of 6 out of 5 out of 100 any day. So we always want to make sure that the quality of lead that they're getting and the information that's being captured from that lead is going to lead to something, right? And we're always going to keep pushing the boundaries in order to make that happen.
It's been really great for us. It's really helpful just to quickly scan a badge, get the information. You can add notes so that you can come back to it later. I personally, the last time I was here, I got like around 117 different leads through the scanning that we were able to follow up on. I can make thoughtful notes so that we know what we're doing. We know how to address it a little bit later, or we can follow up with people that want more information or something very specific. So it's a very easy way to stay organized and on top of what's happening in like a pretty crazy environment. So many people.
A very happy customer. I like that, right? He kind of put everything into words, like what we're trying to say, right? I was thrilled to hear him say that. He said, because it really does demonstrate what the platform does for them. That client right there specifically gets hundreds, if not thousands of leads from the show. That's important. When you're capturing that many scans, you want to be able to have an organized way of how you facilitate and handle them and the information that you collected along with it. Diane, welcome back.
I'm back to see, to help you with the Q&A. We have a few that have come in. First one from Jennifer. We provide career fairs. We've run into significant issues with lead retrieval and our clients' understanding of what attendee information is being provided. What information is provided? The resume? Are there any is anything on the horizon to gear this to recruiters to capture and provide relevant data?
Love that question because that does lead into something that we've been talking about. So we actually do have quite a few of our clients that have career fair type situations. And lead retrieval doesn't specifically usually work for the way they do it traditionally. We got our heads together and we're like, what can we offer? So coming very soon, number one, it will have a resume attached to it. So with the attendee, their resume will be embedded underneath their badge. So when you scan, a resume will be attached with it. We're also going to add in a networking type of, we already have networking within some of our systems. We're going to bring that over to lead retrieval as well too. So then that way people can be matched with you appropriately. So if you're looking for specific people, those exhibitors are looking for specific people to network with or connect with in a career fight situation, it will do that type of matching. We're also looking at putting a scheduling mechanism as well too. So if you want to be able to schedule people to have interviews or be able to talk with you, that will be within lead retrieval as well too. We'll definitely kind of like with these webinars and with our newsletter, we'll start releasing that information as it comes across and comes live. But that's an excellent question. I'm so glad you asked because that was huge within our developmental, our roadmap that's coming across in the future.
Great. Jennifer had one more question. When can we expect RFID scanners? We've been waiting for this technology to come back to eShow.
Yeah. So like I said, I did get to speak on that a little bit. It's been a huge thing. The biggest thing that came with RFID was not the capability to do it. We've always had RFID capacity. It was the scaling of the pricing, right? RFID was mostly used in the transportation industry, kind of for logistics type purposes. And they're used to dealing with billion-dollar companies. And therefore, to scale it down to what we wanted to use it for, it wasn't a viable option. Very few people were able to afford the ability to be able to contract to have RFID available. As with most technologies, if you just wait a little bit, the price will go down. Think about it. First time a 4K TV came out, they were $9,000. Now you can pick them up for $299 at any Walmart or Target. Same as RFID. Not quite that inexpensive, but still, the technology has now gotten to the point that we can now bring this to a level where we can offer it to exhibitors, to clients. Very short cycle. Again, we should be able to announce that we are ready to go with that. Probably towards the end of this year, definitely 2026. We'll definitely have webinars on that as well as newsletter blasts that come and try to translate that information. But yeah, we're really excited about that because RFID really does increase the value of the metrics and the information and the data that comes from the show. It's huge.
Okay, we have two questions that are very similar, one from Jennifer and one from Karen. Can clients use their own device? Is this embedded into the app for exhibitors? And the similar question is, how can exhibitors have the app on more than one device?
Okay, perfect. So again, with all of our different options, you can actually mix and match all the different devices you want to use, right? So I'll give you a great example. So from the show we just talked to, like one of those exhibitors that's a big like that, where they have anywhere up from 20 to 50 salespersons in a booth, right? They may want to have dedicated physical devices that are in the booth, whether it's a kiosk, like a freestanding kiosk that's doing marketing and interactive capabilities, gamification on it as well too, that's capturing metrics from that. Handheld devices where they can scan, maybe they have a hostess or a host that's at the desk that's scanning people as they come in. But then each individual salesperson can have the mobile app as well too. The great thing about that is though, even though they're each on individual devices, so we've got a show where there's 100 different devices being used by an exhibitor in a booth. All that information still ports back to the main portal. So whoever's driving that portal can see all the information that comes across, right? Easy to manage. You say any kind of edits you want to make, you can push across all the different. So if you did want to add some qualified custom leads qualifiers that you wanted to add, custom surveys from the dashboard, you could build that as the person who owns the dashboard and then push it out to all the different devices and have all that information come right back. So yes, short answer, yes, you can use any infinite number of different devices and mix and match.
Great. I have a two-part question that was actually sent to me directly. Is there a way to take notes in the lead retrieval? And can I customize qualifiers for leads?
Yep, you sure can. So that's one of the great things about our system. not only being flexible, but it is customizable as well too. With every iteration of the device or interface that we have, you can take notes. Huge part. You can talk to spec if your phone has talk to text capabilities. You can talk to text into the notes field, which is huge. You can customize your qualifiers. We give you a preset number that we've kind of aggregated over the years, which are some of the most popular ones. We usually put, I think there's 10 to 15 that are kind of natively in the system. But then you can also customize, delete, add, rearrange, rescale them, grade them, and put them in your system. Same thing with survey questions. We have quite a few people that like to do survey questions as well too, is that not just to a individual qualifier, but to actually get even more detailed information. You can do that as well too. With some of our more graphically available devices, so like our kiosk and our tablets, you can actually do interactive capabilities. So if you wanted to put custom games up, if you wanted to put in custom forms, product lines, as you can do a product catalog. If you wanted to have a visual of a product catalog, you can do that as well too. So like I said, that's one of the big selling points and biggest features of our system that is very customizable to what your needs are and what information you're trying to capture.
Great. One last call for questions. I think we've answered them all, but if you have anything else, we still have a few more minutes. No, I think we're good. So Lawrence, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yeah, once again, appreciate everyone coming. Like I said, we understand that the exhibitors are not the most important, but like I said, one of the most vital parts of your show. We understand that their investment in your show is what makes the show possible. Therefore, we want to do everything we can to help you retain those people and, like I said, continue to grow them. Like there's a big difference between retaining and growing. We're always looking to help you grow. And part of lead retrieval is a huge part of that. And we understand the importance of lead retrieval to that process, and we take it very seriously. So like I said, if you have any questions, please reach out to our sales team. We have a QR code there to scan. Feel free to say hi to me on LinkedIn. I'm there and available. It's a big old bubblehead picture of me. So you're more than welcome to jump in and say hello. Like I said, if you have questions about that or you have anything else, like I said, we offer tens of different types of products. So you say, even whether it's lead retrieval, I think I've mentioned registration, exhibits, floor plan, abstracts, speaker management, all kinds of different things. We offer an infinite suite of different products that help you manage your show. So please feel free, not just lead retrieval to inquire about, but any of those products, we are always available to help you with your needs.
Great. Thanks everyone for joining us. We really appreciate it. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you soon.